Hi everyone, so today I'm going to review two shoe models by Funtasma. So Funtasma is kind of a sub-brand of pleaser shoes who make kind of alternative goth stuff. Now the two models that I got are more like, I guess, normie, at least by alternative standards. There are things that I wish I would have known before I actually bought the shoes themselves. So I'm going to start with the ones that I have worn the most. Now, fair warning, they are a little bit rough looking. I tried to clean them up the best I could, but some of it is just going to be permanent. So these are the Saddle-50. They retail for $54. So I got them. This is the most important aspect, okay? Oh, and first of all, let me just point out, this is the box that it comes in. It of course says Funtasma. I have other stuff inside, so that's why you heard something there. I got them in a size 7 or 24. I am a 24. I actually measured my feet. They're kind of 23.5 on their own, and with socks on and the whole thing. With thicker socks they can definitely be 24, so I usually go for 24. I would definitely go a size down in them. You can see this crease here, and I'd say that's mainly because they are a little bit big on me. I wear them a lot because I have inserts that kind of go on this very end on the shoe. So I'm able to wear them with those, and that's why they're actually kind of a daily shoe for me. Of course, they go with everything, and they're actually very, very comfortable. I did have to add some moleskin here on the inside of the heel because it felt like this part was rubbing a little bit, but aside from that, they are so comfortable. I've had them for 6 months, a bit over 6 months. And they've been daily wear, which is why they look a little bit busted. You can see again the wear crease. There's definitely scuffs. But I do feel like they probably would be much more long lasting if you got your size, which again, it would be better if they actually wear the size. If they were true to size, right? Of course, they would be easier to wear and they wouldn't have to suffer as much. I would definitely buy them, not just a size down, but also knowing that they're not really for daily wear. Even though they're flat and they're very comfortable, you may be tempted to wear them on a regular basis, but you know, they're kind of a bit more delicate because they are white here on the front, and I can tell you, I wasn't hiking with them or anything, you know. I was just wearing them normally, walking around on the street and stuff like that, and they just haven't held up that well. But again, I can't be too mad, I guess. I mean, I guess $50 shoes are not so expensive that you would be like, hey, that they should last so much more. I know that there's people who spend so much more on their shoes, but to me, even $50 is a little bit of an investment. So I would rather know these things before I purchase them. Second model that I want to talk about is the Schoolgirl-50. These have almost the opposite issues of the other previous ones. These are also not true to size, but they run a bit small. Not like a whole size small, I'd say, but they are definitely a little bit tighter on the feet. The first few times I wore them, I didn't realize, but then I wore them to a convention for a few hours on end, and I had to take them off, even though it was kind of embarrassing, but I had to take them out because I just couldn't deal with having them off. They were actually so painful after just a few hours. They have some damage from that. You can see a few scuffs here. No, they are on the inside, so it's not too bad, but there is a bit of wear on them, even though I've only worn them like maybe 4 times at most. Now they are, I'd say, fairly comfortable because of the heel being fairly low. It's only like 5 centimeters. Oh, and by the way, these are slightly more expensive. They retail for $60. And I got them from the website directly, but they were on sale. Also, I bought them in the same size, 24 or 7 US. But I think it's because of the design of the shoe itself that is a little bit more narrow than the saddle shoes. So you kind of have to go up a size, unless of course your feet are super narrow. And I think that's also partly because the shape of the front is a little bit more pointed. Not really pointed, but like a little bit more than the saddle shoes. So that's something to keep in mind when it comes to sizing, of course. I would recommend that if you buy these ones, you get a size up and you buy those inserts that you put in the very front of the shoe, and then you may remove them or put them on and bring them with you. Instead of having them either be too tight or too loose, you can just kind of decide, you know. And the other thing is that you kind of need to have a bit of wiggle room anyway, because sometimes they fit a little too tight when you have thicker socks or tights on, and sometimes they're a little too loose when you have thinner, kind of like more like sheer tights. So you typically want to err on the side of them being a little bit big. But again, those saddle shoes are a little bit big even if you are wearing thick socks, in my experience. And even if you lace up the laces a little tight, they're still too long, like front to back, so it's just not going to work anyway. I don't really see any other issue with them. Like I said, I've only worn them a few times, but they have been holding up fairly well. I would say they're probably gonna be rather durable. They are, all of these are patent fake leather, so they're maybe by definition slightly less durable than real leather, but you know, that also depends kind of like whether you actually want to buy real leather or not, and that also probably makes them a bit cheaper. These are very cute, and of course the design makes them super wearable for the regular. They look great, as well as the saddle ones look great with vintage type styles and just with casual looks as well. They just look really cute with anything, so I would recommend them overall, but you definitely have to know certain things before you buy them, which is why I just explained. So I hope you get use out of this video, you found it helpful or entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!